Today, we're talking about the most famous allegedly haunted Annabelle doll and antiques that could be haunted in your home. Let's talk about it.
You ever remember the little black pretty baby doll, baby Christy? Now the doll wasn't haunted, but I lived in a haunted house. And what would happen, because we're talking about things moving and orbs and things like that, and we just saw the clock and would chime. They try to get your attention too. We're talking about antiques, but when we're talking about the afterlife and spirits, they do other things also. My little doll, like I said, she wasn't haunted or anything, but she always moved and changed positions on my dresser when I was little. Now I'm probably in the fourth or fifth grade, when things were happening to me back then. She would always change positions on my dresser. That was my favorite doll. I always knew when something happened, and she wasn't the only thing that moved. And there was other stuff that happened. We're not talking about that. But that's just showing you how things happen and how things move.
Wow. So she just sat on your dresser. Did you ever take her to bed, lay her, on your pillow?
No, she stayed in the same. She was in the same spot. She was in the same spot on the dresser. She's a big doll. It's a big black pretty doll, So she just sat there on the dresser. I didn't really sleep with her or anything, I was getting older, like fifth grade, but that's just my doll, and this is it's decoration, and she's cute and pretty. But
that's something. That's something. Regina, that leads me to, my book, right? So when I discuss my deliverance in my book, there is a doll story in there.
Okay.
And without giving away too much information, there was a doll, and it was based off of a Raggedy Ann doll. And this doll was actually made for me. It was made for me, and it was a boy Raggedy Ann doll.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently I used to talk to the doll, and the doll talked back to me. I was about 5. So that came up.
Wait.
Yeah.
You mean wait, you saying the doll talked back to you?
Yeah.
Like, how we imagine things, and you imagine something talking to you. You mean the doll actually talk? Because I was a ventriloquist, and I had like a little dummy that I made talk. A little dummy doll, a ventriloquist doll. You did, girl. Okay. I love Lester. Lester was my alter ego. You had Lester too? I got to get another one. I got to get another. Let me tell you, I was so good. At least I was so good with that doll. I scared my brother. He tore his head off because he thought he was real. I was so good. I used to entertain my whole family with Lester.
Yes, me too. He had a little vest on and his pants and shoes.
Yes. And a little red. Did you have the red suitcase?
Yep.
Girl, see, small world.
It's a small world, but it wasn't my Lester doll. It was, so my mom, to be short with it, my mom made me a Raggedy. She does everything. She doesn't paint. She cooks. She sews. She used to make all my little outfits for Easter. But with this doll, she had a cutout to make this doll, and she made me this little white doll based off, it's not Raggedy Ann, Cabbage Patch. Remember Cabbage Patch Kids?
Yeah, Cabbage Patch. Yes, I made me a Cabbage Patch doll too. Yeah. I made a black doll.
Yes. I had a bunch of black ones. So she was like, "You need a white one." So she made me a little white.
Yeah.
She made me a little white one, and his name was Thomas or Tommy. I can't remember too much, but I carried that doll everywhere because it was special. Like, she even cut out a little heart and put it in there. But apparently something attached to that doll. It didn't hurt me. I don't remember any of that stuff. She just told me. She said, "You used to talk to the doll." I was like, "No, I didn't." She said, "Yes, you did. You used to talk to the doll. The doll talked back to you." I said, "His lips didn't move." She said, "No, like in the spirit, like he would talk back to you." But that story is so deep. It goes so deep. But there was apparently a spirit attached to it. And I did see that spirit as a child. I did see that spirit. And he would sit Indian style in my room, staring at me. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Was the spirit a child too?
No, I think he was an adult man. He was small. He was short. He was an adult man. Yep. But I'm getting chills talking about it. So there was in the deliverance, she said, she helped me remember, because I didn't remember any of this. But she was like, there was also a man in the doorway. She said, "Do you know who that man was in the doorway?" And I was like, and I just said Jesus. I didn't know. She was like, "Yeah, it was Jesus." So when she was saying it to me, I saw Jesus. And then when I turned over, I saw that the spirit was gone. But for some reason, it couldn't get to me. It couldn't touch me. It just, like a monitoring spirit. You ever heard of monitoring spirits?
No, I don't know. I don't know what that is.
That could be another topic for another day. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because when we get to the topic another day, we'll talk about the haunted house I live in on another day. You know,
Yes.
we're not doing shows all about paranormal, but we're talking about things that are real, and we're gonna have some more paranormal topics,
Yeah.
and some will freak you guys out because they're so real.
That is so true. And we don't go like wanting these things around us. They all happen to us, right? So this is a chance to talk about it.